So the next problem I have is getting some new floors made. So I've masked up the sound deadener on the floor so I can fiberglass and bog to it. I've got some templates in cardboard. I'm going to get some 2 or 3 mil aluminium plate to make some bases to start with, so at least they're flat, and then mold it from that. So it should go up underneath the console. It'll still be removable. We're going to make some new side pieces as well. It'll go right behind the seats, which the original floors didn't, so I'm not really sure exactly what was behind there. I never got to see it, but I'm guessing it was just the carpet with a heap of wiring and stuff everywhere, so we'll clean that up. So when the seats are forward to show off what's behind there, at least it'll still look consistent all the way through. Done a little bit of work on the box. That's basically the front panel's built, so I just got to tidy up the sides where it goes into the side trim panels to finish all that off. The front ring's ready for primer. Roof lining's obviously primed, that's in. So it's got a little bit of sanding to do for that, and then that's ready for paint as well. So next job today is to get the other seat out, console out, and continue masking up the floor so that I can get some aluminium and start moulding them in. It's going to be a lot of work, a lot of sanding, but it'll make all the difference. It'll be a lot lighter than what they were, and fit a lot better. The original one was getting jammed under the clutch pedal, and they were made out of very thick steel, so they were not light, and they were also over the original carpet. So now that the carpet's gone, I've obviously got to make new ones regardless, but got a bit more time than what Jamie probably had originally to knock them out, so we'll get stuck into those and make some new floors, and we'll get them airbrushed. Next step of getting the floors done, aluminium plate, cut to size off the cardboard template, all moulded up, fit it in there as best I can. So now I'm going to glass it over the top of the seat rail base and in the centre of the console. You can see where the black line is, so it's pretty much where it's got to go to, so that when the seat's forward you can't see under there. So we'll mix some glass up and see how it goes. First glass bit done. Bit of a test run in the spot you can't really see. Put the infrared light on it at 7 o'clock at night, so it's already cooled off a bit. So hopefully that goes off, and we'll try and release it and then continue with the rest of it. We'll cut out the front panel tomorrow and work out where we go with that. Do some more glassing, bog work and sand them, and then paint, and hopefully they'll look the part. Good bit of progress today on the new floors. Got the front one cut out today and just started making up some templates for the sides. I'll cut those out of aluminium as well, and then fiberglass them in. The rear piece is done. Start bogging it up. It's got the holes for the seat belt. Still got to tidy those up a little bit. Got the original side steel trim on, which really doesn't fit the best, so I'm going to make new ones out of aluminium as well. Try and make them sit a little bit better and hopefully have no screw holes in them to hold them down. So we'll get rid of those. Not a fan of visible screws. Got the kick panel in, got the front sort of shaped up, so it sits up slightly higher than the other one to cover whatever's under the dash. It'll follow along the line of the console so that you can't see anything once they're all in there and painted. Hopefully all the floor flows nicely and fits nicely. Got the other side rear one cut out, so I need to pull the other seat out and start making that one fit now. And then I've just got the driver's side one, which I've got the template. So I'll chuck that in, start trimming that down, and then cut another one out for the front and continue doing what I'm doing this side. But for now, I just need some more aluminium cut and try and keep the glass and the bogging down to a minimum to, 1, save weight, and 2, just material. Aluminium's a lot cheaper than what fiberglass is at the moment. The prices are a little bit ridiculous. So shall we keep going? Well, spent the morning making up some aluminium panels for the floors. Fitting pretty much as best as I can to follow the curves so that there's sort of minimal gaps to fiberglass them together, which won't really matter so much, but try and make them neater to work on later once I bog them up and make them all one piece. So follow it up a lot further than what the original one did. It's still got to go up a little bit further. Glue another piece to the back of that at some stage, and the back corner where the kick panel is needs a little bit more on it. But it goes up a lot further than what the original one did, so it should fill in the whole lot. So come judging time for interiors, it's finished completely. So I'm going to mix up some fiberglass now and get stuck in. first coat of fiberglass is done to hold it all together. Now I just got to hope like hell that I can get the whole thing out in one piece. Basically unbolt the console, take that out, and then hope that it just lifts out. Could go either way, we'll see what happens. Easter long weekend, got a few days to try and get some work done. Weather's coming freezing cold, so I got a little heater on, just my luck. I've got to do fiberglassing, that's not really going to be ideal in this weather, but we'll try and see how we go. I've got a UV light that I set up to try and make everything go off. So the floor plates are all cut out, so they're ready to basically all glass in. This one's nearly complete. I've started bogging it, smoothing it in. I've still got a little bit here that need to fill in that you see from underneath the side of the seat, but the back one's effectively done. So I'll try and finish that bit off today and get that bogged so I can ready for primer. The front one's all glassed, stitched together, so it's all one piece now. Still got to cut a hole for the seat to fit into there, and then make up some new seals. The rest of that one's pretty much done. I've got a hole up in the top corner up in there to fill in the pieces on the bottom there. So I've got to either pop rivet that or weld that together just to fill in that little hole. The rest of it should all basically go up so that you can't really see any of the interior other than what's painted. Make a cover up for the top of the tunnel at the back to hide the wiring which runs across. But the driver's side one is the problem, trying to do the glassing on the footwell behind there so that the pedals don't get distracted from hitting anything. So that's where I am at today. So we'll try and get some glassing done. It's going to be time consuming, but they've got to be done. It's not going to get any warmer here now, so we'll get stuck into it. First round of glassing for today is done. Well, probably going to be the only one today. It's that cold that we've got the heater in there, closed the car up. So all that bit's in there's glass, which was a bloody nightmare to get to. Still got to do around the footrest. Sort of ran out of resin, but we'll mix some more up later. So that one's all done. A little bit on that side's done. It's got the UV light on, which tends to make it go off quite quickly, so that's a very handy one. I'll put that over this side once that bit's dry. Then it's got to hope I can get the whole thing to release and pull out. It's going to be pretty tight with the pedals in there, but can't see why it won't come out. I'll just have to keep pulling until it breaks or comes out. We had a delivery show up today from a business down in Melbourne. Nice box full of new parts. So a couple of compressors, controller, all the level sensors so that it's legit, the valve block, and then we have a larger than normal tank. So the plan is to fit airbags. So after the owner had been here October and seen the ute and then suggested in November, how about we put airbags in it? I said that it's probably a good idea to do it now, because once the tray's built, it's going to be very hard to try and incorporate everything into it, not to mention running lines and wiring and everything. So we thought about it for a bit, got some prices, and he's decided to go ahead with it. So Airride have so far supplied us with all that stuff so that I can continue building the tray. And at a later date, a month or two, whenever I need it, we'll get the struts and the rear bags, so everything can be mounted. It'll all be engineered, so all legit. But the biggest reason why we put it in is, one, so it can get into the trucks a lot easier, so that we can lift the front up so we don't have to take the front bar off, which is very low. So it's a bit of an issue if you're trying to load it into a truck. That's why it's been removed, so it's been in and out of the trailers or trucks previously. And the other reason is so that when it's at a show, you can lay it out, because who doesn't love a ute laid out on its sills? So we will try and get it as low as possible. It's obviously not going to lay out fully, but we'll modify whatever we need to get it as low as we can. I've already spoke to the engineer, he'll sign off on it. Basically everything's bolt-in kit, so as long as we don't modify anything structural, then not an issue. So I'm going to unpack all this, start laying it out in the tray, Everything will be hidden, so you won't actually know that it's in there until it's obviously laid out or lifted up or aired out or whatever. But yeah, we'll get it in and keep going with it.